Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on GT Sport. We're back with last week's Daily Race C, and it's the last to first challenge. Now for this challenge we don't set a lap time, and we have to start on the optimal tyre to make it a little bit harder so that we can't do the undercut. So yeah, we're doing this every week as much as we can, and this time we're starting from P15 because we're slightly higher ranked than two drivers behind us that have not set lap times also. So gain 2 positions straight away off the start. And going down the main straight, this is our first attempt. We've got 2 races to show you for today's video, so if you do enjoy this content, please subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know in the comment section what you thought about these races. So straight away into turn 1, a little bit of chaos going on the left there. We've managed to gain ourselves 3 positions or 4 positions straight away, straight up to P11 there, and not a bad start in this Daily Race C, starting from the back on the American servers, as P10 runs a little bit wide there, and now we're up into the top 10 already. So this is some advantage of starting on the soft tyre, is you catch a lot of the people on the medium tyres unaware because you've got so much more grip and you can get past them fairly easy. We've got a Group C car in front of us. That should be pretty easy to get past once we get through to an acceleration zone. We've got a P9 there going defensive on the right hand side. We're going to have to go to the left hand side and try and see if we can get through these group of cars. There's 2 cars in front, go very wide. We're going to go to the right hand side and try and go all the way around the outside and use that hybrid. Look at the difference in hybrid between my car and the non-hybrid car, straight up into P7. So a very nice start to this Daily Race C, and now we're working our way onto the back straight and trying to catch up the next group of cars. We can see the car in front of us has got a penalty, so that should be 1 extra position we gain without much effort, but it looks like we're actually going to catch them up way before the penalty zone. So 3 cars here battling into the next braking zone. We're going to brake nice and early and then try and do a bit of an undercut as we see a dive from P5. That gives the opportunity for us to take advantage of that move and put ourselves up into P6. So we've got 2 cars now on the left hand side. Can we go for a move in the braking zone? We're going to go dart over to the right hand side, brake as late as we can, downshift into first gear and try and stop the car on the apex, which we just about do, just in time there. Quite a nice move, putting myself up to P4. So quite a nice start to this Daily Race C on the American server. And yeah, this week was a really fun week. I did enjoy Fuji in Group 1. It's a really nice combination for myself. So working our way up into P4 now, and now we're going to see if we can get ourselves into the podium position. So let's see what we do. Onto the start straight, we've got the slipstream to P3. Can we get a little bit closer for the braking zone? It looks like we're going to be a little bit too far back to go for a move there. You can see we have a little look, but yeah, we just take the normal racing line, and now we're right behind the final podium position. So quite an eventful first 2 laps. Let's see what we can do in terms of getting ourselves into that P3. Can we find the way past us? P3 runs a little bit wide there. We're going to see if we can go around the outside of him now. We've got a little bit of a bad entry into that corner. Can we hang it around the outside? He gives us a space, which is great to see. Gives us a space on the outside, and we take that position up into P3. So a very nice start to this race, as P2 runs a little bit wide there. Possible you can pick up a penalty for that. Let's see what happens as we work our way into the next braking zone. Looks like he's got away with no penalty. However, he might have a little bit of dirty tyres, so let's see. Into the braking zone, he does seem to be struggling with them tyres, so he probably got quite a bit of dirty tyres on there. And now we're going to see if we can put ourselves up to P2. I thought about going for a move there, but decided to back out and just wait for a better opportunity to put ourselves up into P2. Trying to be as patient as we can. You can see he's a bit sketchy at the moment. We see an opportunity there, and that's straight up into P2. Go a little bit defensive for this corner in case he goes for a move up the inside, and now we're in P2, and now we're on the start straight. So we're going to go to the right hand side to try and break that slipstream. There's a little bit of chaos behind us here. I think a car lost the rear on the curb, and he is into the barrier. So now we've got to see if we can catch up to P1 as quick as possible. Now P1 didn't seem to be pulling away that fast, so I did have suspicions that he might be on the medium tyre in this race. If he is on the medium tyre, that is going to make it a little bit hard because he's obviously got the lead on us now. We're going to have to try and catch him up as much as possible, which we started to get a little bit close by lap 4. You can see 2.3 seconds behind him, and he darts off into the pits, and he's going to put the soft tyres on now. So yeah, he was 100% on them medium tyres. He's now going to go soft to the end, and this is actually going to be quite an interesting race because he's going to have much better tyres now for the remainder of the race. So we're going to skip ahead till lap 8, and I decided to do 8 laps on the softs to try and get a bit of an overcut on some of the drivers. And we're going to put the mediums on now and try and have fresh mediums to the end. And as we come out the pits, you're going to see that driver there, he did manage to get that position still into P1. So it's going to be a case of, can we manage to get ourselves up into the lead on the remaining few laps? Now he's still got very good tyres, Our mediums will be quite strong at this phase of the race. They should be able to do low 25s if you put a bit of effort in. Probably if we warmed up. This was our first race of the day, so if we were a bit more warmed up, we probably would have been able to get 24s out of them. So yeah, into this left hand corner, let's see if we can get a little bit closer on the exit. And you can see at the moment the soft tyres look fairly strong. There's not much gaining going on here, so yeah, it's pretty static in terms of the gaps between P1 and myself. So we're going to skip ahead to lap 12, and you can see we started to get a little bit closer now. You can see his tyres are starting to fade because obviously he pitted at the end of lap 4, and now them tyres do seem to be losing a bit of traction, and we're very, very close to picking up the slipstream to P1. So through the final sector, try and get the throttles early as we can, and see if we can put some good sectors in the with the medium tyres on, and see if we can just pick up that slipstream. It's all about seeing if we can just get into that slipstream and then see if we can find the way past, although it's incredibly difficult once you're in the slipstream on medium tyres to someone on the soft tyres to really do much, because obviously you've got that dirtier, they've still got a little bit more overall grip with the soft tyres. So let's see what we can do into this fast flowing section. You can see purple through the first sector, getting very close through here, and you can see going into this left hand corner, he runs a little bit wide there. That is going to give us a run with his slipstream into the braking zone, but it's going to be a little bit too far back to really send one into the braking zone. You can see that we're about 6 attempts back and just a bit too far to go for a move there, but we're going to be patient. You know, he could still make a mistake, but he is driving actually very, very well at this stage. He's really keeping himself composed and doing some very smooth driving, especially with the tyres. His tyres, obviously, he's done like 8 laps on them tyres, so he's done a good job here. And into the final sector, he's keeping it nice and smooth. He's not making any big errors, although he does run wide there. At that point, I thought he might have got a penalty, but he has got away with that. Onto the final straight, he takes a really nice line there. Make sure he gets good exit speed. I tried to go really narrow to pick up the slipstream, which we have done. However, we haven't got enough straight to really boost past him, and you can see as we come to the finishing line, just 2 attempts behind him. So that was the first attempt of doing the starting from the back and getting the win. Wasn't a bad attempt, we did quite well. A very interesting first few laps, quite fun, but we decided to go again straight away next race. And that driver there that won that one was in P2 this time. We got another driver in front of him, and let's see what we can do in this attempt of starting from the back. And again, we're in P15 because a couple of drivers are slightly lower ranked than me that haven't set a lap time, so they have to start behind us. And yeah, into the braking zone again. We can see another driver there that's going for the last to first challenge as well. And into the braking zone, we go for a really late brake and manage to keep it really tight to the apex as well, giving all the other drivers space, and managed to gain ourselves quite a few positions straight away in turn 1. Them soft tyres really working well compared to the mediums on that first corner, and up into P10. So we're in the top 10 already. Another driver has gone off there, and that is P9. And now we're going to go for a move on P8 on the inside. Got better grip there on the inside, and we're up into P8. So a great start to this daily race C this time. So a lot of entertainment in these daily races from the back on the first few laps, especially starting on the soft tyres. I do think it makes it more entertaining, especially for watching, because if you start on the mediums, you pit after 3 or 4 laps and you do all your overtaking in the pits. This just makes it a little bit more entertaining, as again, we're going for that move on the left hand side. Can we hang it round the outside, which we've done there, and up into P7, and now we're right behind the top 6. Can we find a way into the top 6 before we even finish lap 1? We're going to go on the inside here. He's got the inside. Can we go really wide maybe and get a better exit off this corner, which we're trying to do there? On the throttle nice and early. Soft tyres giving us loads of grip, and we're going to out drag him now all the way up this straight, and we're up into P6. So not a bad start for 1 lap there from P15 to P6. Obviously we're on the soft tyres, but it's a really good start to this daily race C. And now into the braking zone, we're going to go to the right hand side just in case he thinks about going for a lunge up the inside. We're going to get that covered and just slow the car down into the apexes. Now we've got P4 and P5 battling right in front of us, so that should make it a little bit easier when we come up behind them, because they might get caught unaware. So following through this section, you can see we're in the slipstream and now into the braking zone. Can we have a think about going for a move in the braking zone here? We're a little bit too far back, but we're going to go to the left hand side. Let's see what happens as he goes a little bit deep into that corner. That's going to give us a very close to the rear of his car, and we're going to go up the inside there, and we're going to go for a move, keeping it nice and tight to the apex to give him the space on the left, and we make another position there into the top 5 now, and another nice little move done there. So let's see what we can do now in terms of getting P4. Can we find the way past him as quick as possible? So in his slipstream, again, try and get a good strong exit off this final corner. We're going to get the slipstream all the way down the straight, and can we go for an absolute send into the braking zone? So you can see straight away, brake bias -1. We're doing that because I'm about to go for an absolute send, but this will give you better stopping ability. So if you're ever going for a big send, it's a good idea to do, because it really does help as we go really late on the brakes, and we managed to slow the car down, and that was an absolute send from so far back, but we made it work, kept it on the apex, gave him space, and a really nice move there up into P4. So now can we see if we can catch up this top 3 group? We can see we're not far behind P3. Not too sure what tyres some of these cars are on in front of us. Obviously, it's very hard to know, but we do know that P2 likes to start on the medium, so it looks like he is on the mediums again. You can see him from, we're gaining on him quite quick, and he was quite a reasonably good driver on this car at this combo. So going by his pace, it's pretty obvious that he started on the mediums again in this race. But you can see now we're getting very, very close to P3. We're actually inside the slipstream almost of P3. So we're going to pick up a little bit of dirty air from him, which is going to give us a little bit of understeer. However, let's see if we can get past him as quick as possible as we go through this right-hand corner and then into this tricky section. But again, a section that I really like to drive at Fuji. It's such an enjoyable section. Some people don't like it. I really enjoy driving this section on Fuji. Into the final corner, it's all about trying to get the car smoothly into the apex on the throttle as early as possible. And we've got a nice bit of slipstream there, and we're going to get a pass done on the inside. He's not going to defend it because we've already got the car to the right hand side. And then again, putting that brake bias to 0 just to give ourselves a bit more stability in the braking zone so that he doesn't try and go around the outside, which we've got there. And we're up into the final podium position. So let's see what we can do now. Can we catch up to P2? Now, P2 we know is the driver that starts on the medium tyres. So when will he decide to pit? He's probably going to want to pit before we get near him, because he doesn't want us to get past him and get a bit of a lead. He's probably going to pit before we get past him. So let's see what happens as we go through this final sectors of lap 4 into the really technical section. You can see we're about 1.2 seconds behind, but we should be able to gain a little bit on him as we're obviously on the soft tyres. He is on the medium tyres. 3 or 4 attempts different in this final sector, 2 attempts different. But you can see through here he's driving very, very well. And again, we get a little bit more traction through there. You can see instantly gaining 2 attempts on that sector, and then another attempt on this corner. And we're almost getting close to that slipstream. You can see into this final few corners, down to first gear, just trying to be smooth on the throttle. And again, gaining a little bit of time there, nearly under 1 second now the gap. And now into the final corner on the throttle as early as we can. And he's probably going to decide to pit this lap because, like I say, it makes sense to get in the pits if he's on the mediums, while we're obviously on fading soft tyres. So he's in the pits. He's now going to have a fresh set of soft tyres versus my slightly worn soft tyres. This is going to be quite interesting as we skip ahead now, a few more laps on, and we've got P1 that's obviously on the same strategy as I am. We've managed to catch him up pretty quickly here. We're 1.2 seconds, 1 second, under 1 second behind him there, and he's actually picked up half a second penalty for running wide in the corner, so that is going to be a help for me. However, he's not going to have to take it on this lap, so it means we're going to get a little bit held up. You can see that we've done quite a good lap on lap 5 considering how old the tyres were. Quite a solid lap at 24.6 with very worn tyres. And then as we're going down the straight, you can see again we've got the slipstream, and we do another 1 minute 24, which isn't bad for lap 6 on worn soft tyres. But the problem we've got now is we're going to get a bit of dirt here. We go for a bit of a look up the inside, but there's no way we can make that move, and he cuts that short, and now we're going to be stuck behind P1 probably for a few corners, because like I say, when you're in this dirty area, it's very, very difficult to get rotation from your car when your tyres are fading. So again, you can see we're just going to try and stay as close as possible through this section and maybe see if we can go for a move if he makes a mistake. But other than that, we're probably going to have to wait until he takes a penalty on the main start straight. But it'll all be about when do we pit, because this lap here is losing me quite a bit of time. So we've got to be very, very tactical here about what we do. So into the final sector, you can see getting very, very close. You can see that he's struggling in front of us. He's getting a little bit sketchy there, but we just can't get close enough to really go for an absolute send into one of the braking zones. You can see the understeer that we're getting from them front tyres when we're in that slipstream. It's very difficult to drive these Group 1 cars when you're in this stage of the race behind someone. Again, final few corners, he's nearly lost control there. One more corner to go. He'll be going for to take his penalty, and we'll be up into the lead of the race. However, technically, are we actually going to be in the lead of the race? So getting him on the straight there, I decided to go for a pit on lap 7 this time. Slightly different way of doing it, because I felt like Our tyres had faded quite a bit at this point. We got stuck behind him then. We had already lost a bit of time. So decided to go in the pits and get straight onto a fresh set of medium tyres. And luckily, looking in the mirror, we just about came out ahead of the soft runner. So it's worked out quite nicely there. All we've got to do now is see if we can hold him off for the remaining few laps. And you can also see there we've got one driver ahead of us, but that driver has not pitted yet because he's going for some really long strategy on the soft tyre. So it's all about if I can hold off the driver on the soft tyres. You can see that he's got a lot more grip still in the braking zones, in the cornering zones. However, the dirty air will really help us out at this stage. We can give him that horrible dirty air and disrupt his ability to turn in and get on the throttle. So at this point, we're going to go a little bit defensive. We don't want to give him any sort of opportunity to go for a move at any point on the lap. So again, keeping it nice and smooth through here, on the throttle nice and early, and you can see every time we're getting on the throttle, we've just got the ability to get on that throttle a tiny bit earlier because obviously we've got no one in front of us giving us that horrible slipstream to be in. So again, into the final few corners. At this stage at the moment, his tyres are still very, very good. They will fade within a couple of laps, so we've just got to try and hold him off for the next 2 laps really, and we should be okay. So again, going over to the right hand side of the track, trying to break that slipstream briefly, and then we're going to go back over to the racing line, and then we can go defensive before the next corner. So there's our one basically move away from the racing line, and then just before the braking zone, we're going to go into the middle of the track, make it very difficult, and it will also give us the ability to turn into apex. You can see he's going to go for a very late braking around the outside, but he's just not able to stop the car. Nearly managed to take it round the outside, but just not enough grip from them soft tyres that are wearing. As we watch the replay cameras, we're going to give him that dirty air all the way through this section. This section isn't very nice to follow someone through. So all we've got to do now is just, again, keep it nice and smooth. He gets very, very close there. He's actually going to try and go around the outside. That is going to be very difficult to make it work. And now we've got the inside for the next corner. So we're going to try and hold him off here now. Can we manage to hold him off into the braking zone? You can see he's very, very close in that braking zone. We're going to go to the right hand side and try and hold him there. He's not going to go for a move there. He's just trying to keep it very close. Maybe look for an opportunity in one of these final corners. But again, look at the difference. As soon as he's in that dirty air, you can see that his car gets all twitchy, and we managed to pull up a little bit of a lead there. P1 though, you can see is losing a lot of time there on the strategies that he's on. He's doing 9 laps on the soft tyres, which wasn't really the best way to go about this race, but maybe he just wanted to get away from some dirty drivers or something. But you can see now he's going to go off into the pits. That is going to give us the lead of this race, and we've got over half a second lead now to P2, so we're not going to have to go massively defensive now into the braking zone. As you can see, into the braking zone, we don't have to go to the right. We can take a normal racing line, and now we can start trying to maybe break away from P2. So out of turn 1, again, getting good traction there. You can see the advantage you do get off the soft tyres, though, is that little bit of extra initial traction when you're on the soft tyres. But again, through here, he's probably going to struggle a little bit more. And also, at this point in the race, his tyres will be starting to fade slightly. You can see as we go into the next braking zone. Keep your eye on the mirror, and we go to the braking zone. You can just see he can't slow the car down as much now. He's starting to struggle with that wear on the soft tyres, and we've managed to nearly break the slipstream here. We're up to 6 attempts away from him, so all we've got to do now is keep it nice and smooth through the next few corners, and we should have broke that slipstream. And then from this point onwards, it should be a case of just keeping it nice and smooth to the end. So through these final corners here, and we managed to get that slipstream broken. And now from this point onwards, there was not much P2 could do with the faded tyres. So we managed to hold on, drove pretty smooth all the way up to lap 13, and we managed to take the win from not setting a lap time. And hopefully you lot really enjoyed that. I know I enjoyed this week of racing. So yeah, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll be doing a lot more of these videos over the next few weeks. And also with regards to GT7 content, make sure you subscribe if you're looking for some help on future games like GT7, because we're going to be doing a lot of track guides, tips, single player guides, stuff like that to help you become a better driver on Gran Turismo 7. See you all soon.